on the ground in leading disaster relief effort and conducting assessment of any damage that have happened, because as already indicated, we are dealing with the whole province and all districts with disaster management team that are assessing the damage that have happened, and they are on standby to ensure that whatever that might happen today. While we are still piecing together with our life, the Disaster Risk Management Center has received further advice from the South African Weather Services of advice weather, which indicate that heavy rains as high as 150 meters or more and strong gale force wind are expected over the province from this afternoon to tomorrow Friday evening. Hence, the South African Weather Services is here, and they've advised us today that there are more heavy rains that are coming. Hence, we want to advise our people to ensure that they are safe. The expected storms are likely to be coupled with the gale force wind, mudslides, hailstorms, and localized flooding. The intensity of this rain is anticipated to be greater than experienced one in April. You remember that in April this year, there were floods, very serious, heavy. The report that we've received, this one will be more than that. Hence, we want to warn our people across the province, but also in particular here at Tegwin. As a provincial government, working with the Tegwin Municipality, we do not wish to see any repeat of any tragedy we saw in this province in April, as already indicated. Once bitter, twice shy, we believe we should be over-prepared rather than under-prepared, because we would be better be safe than sorry when the next disaster strikes. We want now to be proactive rather than reacting to deal with the challenges of disaster. There is a Provincial Joint Operations Center and a district on high alert, as we are here as different stakeholders, and as you see that even the mayor and his team, they are here. In consultation with the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Honorable Sihle Zikalala, to this end, we have established a Provincial Joint Operations Center in eThekwini, which is here, hence we are saying everyone is here, which will coordinate province-wide responses to immediate crises as they unfold. This will operate 24/7 from the eThekwini Disaster Center. That means it will operate here, and all the stakeholders, they will hear, all districts, they will communicate with this eThekwini Disaster Center, so that we're able to assess and know what's happening. As you see, the disaster, how it looks like. We're able to see what's happening outside outside this disaster center. All our municipalities have been instructed to set a district joint operations center, which will coordinate district-wide response to crises as and when needed. And these centers will be supervised by the Provincial Executive Subcommittee in Disaster, as chaired by the MEC of Kokta, as appointed by the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal. As part of those efforts, all municipalities have been directed to alert and, if and when necessary, and evaluate communities from all floodline areas, from the areas that are prone to mudlines, slides, and large-scale soil erosion. We are also asking the media to assist in this regard, and we want to appreciate the work that we have done in form of informing our people by distributing time-sensitive information speedily and to those whom it concerns. If people are to be moved from the community facilities and areas of safety, in particular areas, they will need to be informed of all logistically arrangements timeously. Hence, we are saying we want to appreciate that you continue assisting us to inform our communities. Councillors in all wards, as well as ward committees and CTWs, have been asked to work with their local authorities in this regard too. And according to a province protocol, ward councillors are the first port of call for communities to distress when disasters strike. Churches have been likewise been requested to make their communal facilities available and other other halls for communities, so that whatever that might happen, if we move people to halls and churches, so that our people, they will be safe. Indeed, as provincial government, we are worried about the imminent crisis, and the danger is really, as we witnessed in April, when the multiple houses collapsed and many lives were lost. This is a warning we can afford to downplay and minimize anyway. As provincial government to intervene in terms of roads, we have asked the provincial government, the Ministry of Transport, to ensure that the major roads are monitored so that no one will travel unnoticed, so that will minimize the risk. Hence, we have engaged the Ministry of Transport. Schools and buses urge to release learners and workers early. As we speak, the Department of Education have already released a letter that schools, they must be closed, and children, they might be taken. We're also asking schools to be released their children early, and also close school for the duration of tomorrow as well, as the weather services have indicated that is today and tomorrow will be very heavy. Hence, we are saying we request that at least schools have been closed today and tomorrow. We're also asking business leaders to also release workers early and allow people to work from home, rather report at the workplace in the interest of the public safety, because the safety of the people is very important, rather than going at work knowing very well that they might happen, floods happening at work and their homes. We also ask the citizens not to take unnecessary risks and minimize movements, while advising our communities to not go outside and all over. They must try by all means to minimize their movement. Warning and evacuation are being planned in flood line areas, and we urge everyone to cooperate with the instruction from the emergency services as advised by the team, while leaving nothing to chance, as this weather condition has the potential to cause significant damage to public and private owned properties. We are taking all of these unprecedented steps in the interest of the safety of our communities, and safety is the primary concern for us as a caring government, because the people of KwaZulu-Natal, people of South Africa, they voted the African National Congress as the government of the day. Hence, we are saying, as a current government, we want to ensure that our people are very safe. We will appreciate the cooperation from all stakeholders, because the disaster prevention is everybody's business. And people in distress are urged to call the emergency number, which is 10177. But we have already issued all the district disaster center numbers. We can share with the media so that they will be able to communicate across the province, so that whoever wants to communicate with the district disaster management center, they will be able to communicate. Then they will liaise with the provincial one, as already indicated. I will then allow the mayor, if want to add something, then Bab Mabaso, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me see, we'll hand over to
Thank you very much, our facilitator, Mr. Mabaso, the MEC and the acting HOD. As eThekwini Municipality, we acknowledge the support we are receiving from provincial and national government during these difficult times, and we are also cooperating with all law enforcement agencies on their interventions in areas where their services are required and emergency services. I think I wanted to make an addition, Honorable MEC, in relation to our readiness as a eThekwini Municipality. We have also proactively identified areas which they normally become vulnerable during the flooding periods. We have identified about 11 areas of that nature, which you find many communities located in flooding areas. So our teams are already on the ground. They've been interacting with these communities. We have put systems in place and plans to ensure that we are able to deal with evacuations whenever they are required. But we have also released caution to the members of the public, especially to ensure that we clear our drainage systems so that we avoid further damages to people's properties. We were happy that when we visited Amawoti, communities themselves, they were fully involved, participating in clearing their own drainage systems because of the littering that has been happening, affecting those drainage systems. So we are also unveiling our own plans in terms of responding to the previous disasters that have occurred in the city, especially the April ones that happened this year. There is good and significant progress that has been made in relation to the supply of material to those who were affected, relocating them from the community halls and the marquees and restore them where they belong to their respective communities. Out of 1,800 people who were affected, at least we are remaining with 300 people who have not yet been removed or relocated to where they're supposed to be. The interventions also include the rehabilitation of houses which were damaged by floods, and we are also experiencing a good progress in that relation, in that regard, and we are also ensuring that the houses which are supposed to be demolished because their state are not at a level of being rehabilitated, there are companies which are being appointed to deal with such. So there is high level of work that has been done, and the significant progress so far have been achieved. So we are happy with the progress, and we are communicating with the affected communities as to how do we intend fast-tracking processes to relocate those who are still remaining to the disaster centers that we had. But our preparations are at a level that whatever that comes before us, those centers have been prepared, and our trucks and many facilities that are required to be responsive in that regard, we are more than prepared to do that. We are happy with the work that all our units in the municipality, they are integrating their services, whether you talk of parks, emergencies, led by disaster management, including Metro Police and many other law enforcement in the city that we are working with, so they are more than prepared to become more responsive to the situation that we are confronted with. But of course, the caution that the MSC has raised through the statement is that we should all be at safer places and ensure that when we are crossing rivers, we do not risk our lives. Where we see dangers, we should avoid crossing those rivers. The roads which are also vulnerable, which there are clear indications that they can't be traversable, we are closing those roads down so that we will be able to avoid any further damages and incidents in that regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Can we quickly take any questions of clarity? Take the first one at the time. Starting with you, sir. I think you know the procedure in that order.
Just for the mayor,
Okay, introduce yourself.
Kabil from News 24. I just want to know, in terms of those 300 people that are still have to be placed in places of safety, where exactly are they from? Are they from one particular area, different areas, and how much longer do you anticipate that they have to be honest?
Next question.
Sure. Steve from East Coast Radio. The 11 identified areas, can you just have a brief rundown of where they are or what areas they are by name? And also the roads which have been affected. We know that some of them are key roads, or not really key, but just frequently busy roads such as the M4. Can you just give us a status update on what is happening as well?
Just a clarity on the number of casualties. I think you mentioned 16 from the 25th of October, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the case? And if we can have a breakdown of the most affected areas with the number of high casualties. But also number two, we know that the rain is not man-made, it's the issue of the men above. But in terms of mitigation and infrastructure, previously there was an outcry about the state of the drainage system in Ethekwini in particular when it comes to flooding. Has that been addressed? I know it will take a long time to fix the drainage system, but at the center of that disaster before was the issue of the outdated drainage system. And the Ethekwini tried to fix that. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to start. I think the question was directed to the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mabaso. The areas that we have made reference to, it's Ward 53, which covers the areas of Kwasitau, comprising of Amawoti, Lusaga, and Cuba. Ward 22, which include Fenin and Claremont. Ward 23, Quarry Road West, Quarry Road, Reservoir Hills. Ward 76, 74, Mega Village around Umlazi. Ward 15, HL Mnyama, comprising Phase 3, Phase 4, and Egukanyeni. Ward 52, including 57 Pambai areas, the areas which are lower Inanda. Ward 90, Isipingo, Transit. Ward 61, Road 82090, near Tonga Transit Facility. Ward 71, Portley Brush, comprising Madiba, Portley Brush, and Madiba, Portley Brush Overspill. Ward 65, Bellington, comprising Bellington Station, White City, and Overspill, and areas around Ward 72. Those are the vulnerable areas which we have done a lot of work on evacuations in regard to the expected rains. Then the next question was relating to the roads that are affected. There are many roads, access roads and the bigger roads, but those which are economic active like M4, we are still working on restoring the operations in those roads, because we'll also note the weather conditions which are disallowing for any construction work to be done. So we'll await the processes in that regard. Then in relation to the issues on the drainage system, stormwater systems that we have in the city, of course there is work that is being done. We need to do a lot more of fixing our infrastructure, we agree. But the work that is being done also includes the awareness, because some of the drainage systems is not that they are dysfunctional on the basis of their state as infrastructure related, but it's based on the littering that is taking place, which also causes some blockages. And those blockages then they affect the flow of water in those drainage systems. Hence, we are calling for the members of the public to join our campaigns of clearing such drainage systems. The city is working flat out to clear those drainage systems. But we also call for the communities to rise and say, here we are to protect our own lives. We educate our children not to throw plastics and the cans over these infrastructure facilities that we talk about. So therefore, there is work in progress in that regard. There are also teams, since we experienced more floods in April, which are finalizing the assessment on the interventions that are required in relation to engineering that still need to be put in place. So those are the reports that we can give at the moment. Thank you very much.
No, thanks. I think we must appreciate the work that is done by Ethekwini Municipality. As the mayor has already indicated, from the number of 1,800, they've able, within that space of time, to reduce up to 300. It's not an easy task. Remember, disaster is something that you don't plan, you don't budget for. As Pamandla has indicated, that it's just rains from God. And we are appreciating the rains. However, we don't appreciate what have done the floods, because we've been crying as people of KwaZulu-Natal that our dam were very low. They were below 50%. Hence, our people, they were crying that there is no water. And the issue that we've been raising is that the storage in terms of dams, the level of water was very low. Hence, we're saying we appreciate rains, but we don't appreciate what have done in terms of the floods and the lightning and so on and so forth. I think he has already clarified the issue of drainage at Tewin. It's not only here at Tewin, it's a phenomenon across the province. Just want to borrow from him when he's saying to our people, can they not litter? Because the more you litter, you might take it as if you don't care, but it will affect you later. It will affect because those, whatever that we are littering, it will go to a drain and block the drain, and then it will come back later when there are heavy rains. Hence, we want to encourage everyone across the province that can we try by all means. One is to keep our town clean for hygiene purposes, but also it affects in terms of heavy rain. However, let me just respond on the one question. I think the mayor have responded to most of the questions. Only one question that was asked by Spamandla about the number of the lost one, the casualties. If I can give you in terms of, if I can separate if I add the two that we were confirmed yesterday, that means there were 4. At Herikwala 1, Utugela 3, and Zululand 1, and Mkanyagute 3. You will know if I'm saying Mkanyagute 3, but in terms of the report that we reported 2 weeks ago, there were 4 people that were lost their lives through lightning at Mkanyagute, but one of them was not residing at Mkanyagute, but was residing at Zululand. But it happened at Mkanyagute, hence we counted 4 by then at Mkanyagute. I think it's important that I clarify that, because there might be a question, but last time we said 4. It was 4 because the incidents happened in Mkanyagute. However, one person was not from Mkanyagute, was from Zululand. Hence I'm saying it's 1 from Mkanyagute, and 2 from Ilembe, and then 2 from eThekwini. Then you can add it for yourself. Thank you.
Maybe to add on the vulnerability, because issues of climate change are real. So if we do not act and act now as communities, we'll experience a lot of disasters. The illegal mining which is taking place in our rivers also add a lot in these incidents, because the more you expand the road, the river, it also impacts negatively, because it makes the houses that are closer to those rivers vulnerable. So it's important that we stop doing that, especially those illegal business people that are conducting such exercise. It must come to an end. The motorists are also requested to take caution when they are driving. Leave necessary gaps so that whatever happens, you are able to avoid to be part of causing an accident. So therefore, we request our motorists not to drive on high speed, but also be vigilant, because we'll never know where you are traveling if there are already some challenges in relation to the infrastructure, our roads, and other systems. So it's important that we take care and we drive with caution to avoid further accidents in our areas. Thank you.
I think the last one, the number might change, because as long as we receive report from the police, I'm saying today might report 16, and today later we might say it's more than 16. It will depend on the report that we receive from the authorized people to confirm the loss of life, because we don't have powers to confirm, but there are institutions that have authorized to confirm that. However, the last one also, this matter have already escalated to national. Yesterday, the acting president, Mama Nkosazana, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, she is here at Ethekwini attending a UCLG conference of all mayors across the country. We also briefed her, and she indicated that she is going to engage national departments that can assist, even her department as national culture and other neighbor provinces, if need to be, to assist us as a province. I think that also that I can also raise. Thank you.
Okay, we will take the last round, and those in that chair. Take you go on, because
Readiness more,
you, my sister, and the second fighter, starting with Stephen, coming to the last. There was that up. Oh, there go. Tell me to do. So those five.
Okay, thanks. My name is Busi Kumala from KZN. I'd like to know from the MEC, other than Devon, which areas in KZN are likely to receive more rains, and if there is any likelihood of tornado stricken area of the Mbolo Municipality to be declared as disaster by the national government.
Okay, next question.
Sure. So there's been some criticism that COCTA as a department have failed the citizens in the sense that it did not timelessly send out an alert or warning, giving people time to react, even though despite the weather service having said days before that tornado and imminent weather conditions were headed our way. Just a quick thought on reaction on this.
Okay, the third colleague, I think it was you, my sister.
A question has been asked.
Okay. Mark?
Yes, just another clarity again, I know you gave us that 16 figure, that number, but from this week, how many casualties from this week? And also, you have touched on the issue of the acting president, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Do you want the province or some part that has been affected to be declared a disaster area or zone? Umtungwa has passed. Mayor of Ethekwini, now MEC, previously there was an outcry about the slow pace of supplying or distributing help to those who were affected during the April floods. I know you said about 1,000 people have been sorted out, but there is 300 remaining. This time around, how do you ensure that people receive whatever help they need after the disaster, after the floods? Because we've been criticized as the government of moving at a slow pace, or let me put it blunt, some people say you have neglected them, those who were affected during the April floods.
Okay, Kabir.
Kabir News 24. Just a report coming in right now about funneling of a cloud, possibly a second tornado in Bergamo. If there's any reaction we can get with that at this point. Multiple reports right now.
Okay. Level?
I'm looking for a doctor from my secretary. Let me see, what is procedure for someone who, if they are in distress or evacuation, what should they do? Because they have to be also help.
Okay. Let's start with the mayor. I think the mayor is going to repeat himself on what we are doing with Ethekwini, the incident in April. Start with the mayor and then
Thank you. As we speak, we have already received more than 97 complaints from different committee members. So therefore, we are still expecting more. Our systems have been engineered in such a way that from all zones of eThekwini, we have teams on the ground which are ready also to deliver on the interventions that are needed by the communities affected. So our capacity, we don't doubt it, will be there, but of course we can't be 100% because the number of complaints will always be high. So we'll do our level best to ensure that we become more responsive to all people affected. The issues relating to the strength in the municipality to act and act swiftly, we've touched on that, and we are more than ready. Our teams are on the ground working flat out without any recesses, because we understand these are emergencies. So therefore our system should be oiled in such a way that we are able to remove even the trees which fell over the roads, all the things that affect our infrastructure and the people on the ground. So we are more than ready. But we also appeal to the communities to give necessary support where they can afford to give such. Wherever you see other people in trouble, please alert the emergency units so that we are not finding ourselves having many people losing their lives. But wherever we can be able to assist, let's do so. Thank you.
No, thanks. I think the question is saying which areas might be affected in KwaZulu-Natal. The answer is the whole KwaZulu-Natal. Why I'm saying that, I don't want to say it might be eThekwini or Uthugela, because tomorrow, if it happened at King Cetshwayo, will be accused that the people of King Cetshwayo, they were not warned in time. However, there are areas or districts that normally floods happens, like eThekwini, the northern, which is far north, which is Umkhanyabute and Uthugela. Those are and eThekwini and Uku. Those are the most areas that normally have affected by the floods or disaster. But the warning is for the whole KwaZulu-Natal. Hence, we are saying we are informing the whole people of KwaZulu-Natal. The accusation that COGTA is failing in terms of not informing our people, we don't want to be defensive on that. However, if you can go to our website, on a daily basis we inform the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Even if you can go to my personal Facebook, I normally post warning the people of KwaZulu-Natal. And also, I also issued the number of all district disaster centers, saying there will be a floods in these areas, a heavy rain, severe thunderstorm. But these are the numbers of the people of the offices that you might contact at the district level. So that will be easy to communicate it through that at the local level. But if there are people who are saying they have not heard us, we want to apologize to those ones. But we request them to also follow our page, those who are on Facebook or Twitter. But also, when we have space engaging with media, especially SABC, we normally inform people and ask them to be cautious of the heavy rains. So I can't say they are right or wrong, but I'm just saying we want to apologize if there are those falling in that category that we are not doing well. We are going to learn or improve from what we have been doing so far. Is the Mpolwane Mshwathi declared as national disaster? The answer is no, not yet. We are still following the process. Remember, there is a process that you need to follow until the area is declared as a national disaster. But we have engaged. Yesterday, after we went to Mshwathi with the Premier and the MEC of Finance, after that, by 11 o'clock, we were meeting an executive council where we known as Cabinet of KwaZulu-Natal. And this matter is one matter that was discussed, and we formulated a plan, hence we are presenting here in this media briefing. and were requested to activate all the disaster management team across the province, because it might happen in different corners. Remember, we don't have control of this. It's only God who knows what's happening. Hence, we are also saying across the province, can the people of KwaZulu-Natal try to be in the safer places? How many lives have been lost this week? I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 4 this week. It's not 4. It's 2 at Chewini, 2 at Mshwati, 1 at together. I think there are 5. I think there are 5 this week. I think the one that we presented, we said is 16. We said it's 16 from the 25th of October, from October to date, that have been confirmed. But as already I've indicated, that the number might fluctuate because of the report that we'll receive from those who have been authorized to confirm. The report that we have received that Bergville might be, the tornado might be there. We thanks for informing us, because we receive information from different institutions. Normally we receive it from South African Weather Services, but we also happy to receive information from media. Then our responsibility is to inform the people of Bergville to be more conscious than others because of that, so that they must be, their movement, they must be monitored. But hence, I have already said, we are not only focusing to the areas that they've already confirmed, but across the province. Then, what is the procedure to deal with the areas that are distressed? One, if we alert the people of that area through SMSs, through the disaster management center, because the disaster management center, like this center, they have a system where they issue notices. Most of the information that they receive from the database. You know that municipalities, they have a database of all those who are paying rates, those who fall under indigents, who have registered. And we request even those who have received the SMS to inform others, because we might not be everywhere. Hence, we are saying, let's work together. This is why the government of the day is saying, let's work together to grow South Africa. We are saying, let's work together to protect our people. We need everyone to ensure that our people, they are safe. But we are having emergency centers. Hence, we are saying we are working with our colleagues here that are here. Hence, they are here as this provincial, this joint provincial operation center. Even at the district level, we have this kind of structure where we liaise with different stakeholders. So it will be easy to assist, to support our people and alert them where there are challenges. We are on standby in case whatever might happen. I think the slow pace, I think the mayor have reported. You see, one of the challenges that have affected here at Chewini, for those who are complaining that they feel neglected, is it because when we receive budget, the Chewini receives budget from National Department of Building Houses, one of the challenges was land. You see, the houses set umlas that were affected. That means in that area you can't build houses in that area. So the municipality was supposed now to go and look for the land where they can build houses for those people. That means they might engage the private sector or people who are owning land and have a negotiate in terms of buying that land. Then that was a delay in terms of why others they have been. But hence I said we must appreciate the work that have done by Chewini municipalities. From 1.8 now is 300, and that does not mean they have stopped their processes. They are still maybe tomorrow, after a week or after a month, you might get a report that the number now is 20. It will be based on the availability of resources at that time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mayor, and other colleagues. You can see from the screens that we continue to start doing our work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe one thing, Mr. Mabaso, because the question that may arise is that the topical issues on climate change. What is it that we are doing as the city? On the 22nd, we'll be unveiling our climate change action plan, which talk on issues of adaptation and mitigation. But we are also inviting you for Saturday, even if whether it's raining or it's not raining, we'll be launching our promenade, MEC, here at the beachfront. The manner in which it has been structured, the infrastructure there, is more responsive on the conditions because we are alive to the fact that our beach levels are rising as well. So you must come and see that we are not only talking about things, but we are actioning on the challenges that are presented by climate change. Thank you very much.
The last one, as we conclude, as all indicated that the Premier is aware of this, hence we have just received that the DG of KwaZulu-Natal have issued a letter or a circular that all employees of the provincial government, they are released after 12, and even tomorrow they might not go at work. We are saying we are the government that carry, government that want to protect our people. That's why the people of KwaZulu-Natal, they voted African National Congress because we are a caring organization.
And the private sector?
Beside essential services, yes. Beside essential.
And the private sector? Okay, thank you very
No,
much.
I'm talking about the government. About government.